Hello, everybody, and welcome back. And today I am going to answer your burning questions. I posted a community post a day or two ago here, and I asked you guys to ask me some questions so I could do a Q&A video. And so today, yeah, I'm going to answer those questions. Please make sure you consider liking and subscribing. It really helps me out. I really appreciate it. And let's get right into these questions. So we're going to start out here with the first one. It says, what is your favorite cube brand? Probably Diane. I've had a bias towards them since I was a kid. I don't know why. Maybe it's got something to do with the Zanchi. Not sure. But that's my favorite brand, even though I have more puzzles of other brands. Favorite WCA event? Probably 6x6. That is one of my favorites. I'm a big cube guy. Realistically, if I could say 5, 6, and 7, I would. But if I have to pick one, it's 6x6. What is my favorite feeling cube? Right now, my favorite cube, like feel-wise, is the Diane Zanchi Pro V5. I just got that one recently, and I'm really enjoying that cube. What are my main 4 events? 2x2, the GAN Pro, 3x3. Right now, Diane Zanchi V5 Pro, 4x4, Moyu Aosu, was it V7 triple track, 5x5, the V6 Aosu or Aochuang double track, 6x6, the Speedcube Aoshi, 7x7, a modded Meilong V2, clock, Chi clock, the black one, Pyraminx, the Moyu like Weilong or whatever, Skew, Moyu Weilong or whatever, I don't know. What else? I don't think I've done any other events yet. Megaminx GAN, but I'm not fast enough for Megaminx most of the time. My favorite cube tuber, probably New Zealand Speedcube, I think that's his name. I watch a lot of his stuff. He does a lot of like what's going on in the community stuff, and I really like that. Do I like cheese? Yes, I actually really love cheese. I'd say I probably spend $20 to $40 every grocery on cheese. Big fan of cheese. What year did you start cubing? Well, I started cubing back when I was a kid, but I was probably 10 for about 3 years. Took a break. Came back recently. So I never really forgot it though, and I would solve sometimes. So for a while, just not intensely for as long. What method do I use? I use CFOP, and then reduction for big cubes. What is my main cube? Well, I just went over my mains. What is the worst cube I've ever had? I would have to say the Rubik's brand 5x5. It is larger than the Moyu Alfu, and if you shake it, it rattles, and you can't tension it. It's pretty bad. What is the best budget cube with magnets? Right now, I would say the best budget cube is probably the Chi M Pro V2. That one just came out. I did a review on it. I think it's really, really good. Classic question. What's your story to start speedcubing as a hobby? Well, one day when I was a little kid, I was riding the bus, and there was this older kid who was solving, and he was solving pretty quick. He was pretty fast, and I was like, I gotta do that. And so I went to the store, bought a Rubik's brand cube, and I learned how to solve it, and that's what got me into it. Just a kid on the bus. You know, some days he'd do 3x3, some days he'd be doing 5x5 or 7, and I was just fascinated, and I really had to start doing it, you know. And yeah, that's that. I mean, it's been yeah, we had a giant break in there because of sports and school and whatever, but we're back. Next question. How many puzzles do you own, and when did you start cubing? Maybe also why? I have 21 puzzles, and I started about 2 years ago when my sister convinced me to learn how to solve a 3x3 Rubik's Cube. Well, I just said the story, so we know that. As for how many puzzles I own, I'm gonna say probably close to 70. I don't actually have like a count, but it's a good amount. I do a lot of reviews and unboxings, so yeah. As you're not sponsored, opinion on ZCube. Don't have an opinion, never order from them, don't know. How many comps have I been to? I have been to 2 competitions. I was supposed to go to a third, but a snowstorm kind of knocked me out of that. Didn't want to drive in that. I'm looking at 3 right now for the beginning of the year for 2025. There's 3 that I'm looking into. 2 for sure. 1 I think is still in planning, so probably doing that as well. Next question. What do you think is the best WCA event? In my personal opinion, it's 6x6. I love 6x6. What do you think is the best cube for WCA events? that's a tough question. That's not a question I can really answer because, you know, that changes for every single person. Every person has a different cube that they like. Um, and so that's a personal question. I mean, I did go over my mains already for the time being, so I would suppose that, you know, that would be, for me, that would be the best. But everybody has their own personal preferences. Some people use the VIN 4x4, some people use the ASU, some people still use the WRM. It really just depends on the person, you know? What events would you consider adding to the WCA? FTO. Everybody wants FTO. I think it's not a bad idea. Lately, I've been thinking maybe the Ivy Cube, but I think we'd run into a 2x2 situation where we're running out of... It'd be too fast, too quick. I've made a case for 8 and 9 and maybe Gigaminx, but those are hot takes because realistically that wouldn't work. It would take people too long. The average person would take too long, including me. What site is best to ask to be sponsored? That is also a question that I wouldn't necessarily say has a correct answer. You know, realistically, all you have to do, you have to believe in the brand and have to be able to create some sort of mutual partnership with whatever the brand is you go with. You know, it's not just getting free stuff. You know, I mean, when you get sponsored by somebody, you're agreeing to be just as supportive of them as you or they are of you. And so you have to find a brand you believe in, make content you enjoy and that others enjoy, and you be professional, do all those things. And it's not really a one specific site. You just you can reach out to, you know, people, to brands. They might reach out to you, you know, but it's all of those things. So there's not a best site. You know, it's going to be a partnership that's best for you, and that's going to be different for everybody. Next question. Do you have any other hobbies besides cubing and puzzles? And happy cubing. Well, thank you. I like video games. Lately, I've been playing a lot of Grand Theft Auto 5. Big Minecraft fan, but I haven't played in a while because I've been quite busy. You know, I mean, I like movies. I like watching movies and TV. I'm a film and media studies major in college, so that makes a lot of sense too. Next person. Don't have a question, but just commenting for the algorithm. Well, I still appreciate that. Thank you. Next question. What was your first actual Speedcube that you got / bought? Speedcube wise, I remember way back when, probably like 10 years ago, I ordered, well, man, maybe like 14 years ago now, I ordered a DIY kit, Blue Diane Zanchi. And I was little. I put it together so bad. It wasn't lubed. It was terrible. And the Diane Zanchi was so much better than it was for me, for other people. I mean, it was so bad because I did not do a good job putting it together. But technically, I mean, although it wasn't fast, it was the first Speedcube that I bought. Next question. Been stuck on being sub 20 for about a year. What tips would you recommend to get closer to sub 15? Well, definitely want to increase TPS probably, but you want to do that in a good way. You don't want to you know, just spam turns. You want to make sure your turns mean something. Practicing look ahead is a good thing to look into. Not sure if you know full OLL or PLL, but those are good things to look into. And the most important thing, in my opinion, is finding ways to optimize your F2L. F2L is probably going to take the most time out of your solve, realistically, so that's what you want to probably focus on. Especially once you have OLL and PLL down, you can focus on that. So definitely look into some F2L stuff. Learn some algorithms for the tough cases. The rest of them, you know, they're intuitive. Find the best solutions and get good at them. You want to be able to look at an F2L case and just know how to solve it. So then while you're solving it, you can look at for the next one. That's how you kind of practice that and then get into look ahead a little bit. That's what I would recommend. Other than that, just practice. Sub 20 is actually a rather hard barrier to break, but once you do break it, you should see rapid improvement until you get to about 12 or 13, I would say. And that's kind of where I'm at. And if you have any more questions about that kind of stuff, feel free to drop them on the comments of this video. I'm glad to answer anything that I can answer for you guys. Next question. If you were to be sponsored, who would you want to be sponsored by and why? And what are all your PVs for N by Ns? Well, I'm going to skip the first question because I don't want to... you know, throw out there like this specific store. You got to be open, especially at my size. Like, I'm not looking for a sponsorship per se, but I'm very open to the idea of one, and I wouldn't mind being sponsored. You know, just again, like I said, it's different for everybody. And I don't want to just throw out there and be like, well, I like this store the most, because each store's got their own pros and cons, or some don't have any cons. It really just depends. But again, open to partnerships from many aspects at the moment. So just not really looking for one specific place, but I mean, obviously I do have somewhere, but I'm not gonna say. What are all my PBs for N by Ns? Well, all right, I'm gonna give you guys my official PBs, except for 7x7 because I have not competed in 7x7. For 3x3, my single PB is 11.92 and my average is 14.17. For 2x2, my single is 6.9 and my single is 7.8. I know, pretty bad. 4x4, single 47.3, average 58.57. 5x5 single 113, and average 121.61. 6x6 single 226.28, average mean of 3 251.11, and that mean of 3 could have been better if I didn't flop my first solve at the Buffalo Cube day. For 7x7, I average between 3.5 and 4 minutes generally, but there's not a lot of competitions for that, so I don't compete in it entirely too often. Haven't yet, but I'm looking to very soon, actually. Next question. What is your favorite color? My favorite color is a lavender purple, which is one of the reasons why I love the Diane Zanchi Pro V5 so much. That's been my favorite color for years, hasn't changed. I mean, realistically, I like any purple, but that's a specific shade that I very much enjoy. And the last question we have, my favorite Speedcube shop lubes. Well, I personally am a very big fan of Martian. I pretty much use that on everything, for everything. I don't really do a lot of mixing and matching. I think that lube is very well balanced, and it gives me a feel that I really enjoy in my puzzles. So I kind of got lucky first try when I bought that, and I've stuck with it. I've used a lot of it. I've gone through a few of the big bottles already, because I lube most of my puzzles, whether I use them or not. And so, yeah, that's my favorite. But from what I understand, all of the, Speedcube shop lubricants are great. I know I've tested some of the scented ones, and they all performed quite well and felt good too. So, I would definitely recommend the Speedcube shop lubricants. They are wonderful, and they will give you results that you're looking for. And there's also this RUA Sigma. I have no idea what that means, so I can't answer that. And I'm sure I probably don't want to know what that means. I've heard that term thrown around. I think it's some slang going around these days. I've heard my little sibling say that, and so I don't want to know what that means. But thanks for asking, anyways. I suppose. But anyways, thank you so much for watching this video, and I really appreciate it. And I will see you guys in the next one. Peace out.